Welcome, Tony Hsieh, CEO of Zappos.com. Tony, you sell shoes and other products meanwhile, but you started selling shoes, and there was a certain point when you discovered that it's not just about selling products, not just about selling shoes, but also about delivering a service and creating happiness in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you find that out?
We first made the transition in 2003, so about 4 years after the company started, and we basically just sat around and asked ourselves, what do we want to be about when we grow up? Do we want to be about shoes, or do we want to be about something bigger and more meaningful? And so that's when we decided we wanted to build this brand around the very best customer service. And kind of a funny thing happened once we announced it to the employees. Employees were a lot more excited, and then when customers called, they could tell that the employees were passionate about it. And when vendors came and visited us, they can sense the passion in our employees as well. So all of these things kind of had this snowball multiplicative effect, and I think it really got us along much further than we would have if we just said we wanted to only be about shoes.
All right, so not spending your budget on marketing, but spending your budget on service and...
Yeah, so most of the money we would have spent on paid advertising, we instead put into customer service or the customer experience. So things like free shipping both ways, or running our warehouse 24/7, or having our call center staff 24/7. And all those things are really expensive, but we view those as marketing expenses because eventually it makes our customers happier, and then they tell their friends and family about us, and then they come back to us. So it's really about making our employees happy and about making customers happy, and then it just feeds on itself.
Okay. When people want to start their business, many people go for the money. They just want to become rich like other founders. What's wrong about it?
There's nothing necessarily wrong about it. I think it just depends on what type of business you're trying to build. If you're trying to build a long-term business that's going to become a meaningful size 10 years, 20 years down the line, then that takes a different strategy than just chasing the money like up front. If there are plenty of great businesses that are, say maybe in the $1 million range or even $5 million range in revenue, and if you can get to that size just by chasing money, but if you want to get to $1 billion range or $10 billion range, then that takes a different type of strategy, and it takes really thinking about trying to build something that's meaningful beyond just money or profits or being number one in the market.
Okay, so what's the connection between business and happiness?
The connection is really just, there's been research done on what makes for great businesses. If you read books like Good to Great or Tribal Leadership, and there's just parallels between the two. They found that having a higher purpose for the company actually leads to the company doing better financially. And then in terms of the science of happiness, there's been research that's been done where individuals that have a sense of a higher purpose or being part of something that has meaning to them, that actually ends up making the individual happier. And so that's they're just parallel to each other, and I just thought that was pretty interesting and something I just randomly came across in the last couple of years.
All right, so you discovered research about happiness, and you discovered that it was the main driver in humankind, like chasing happiness?
Well, just ultimately that's what we're all seeking. We all do different things for different reasons, but ultimately it's because we think it'll make ourselves happier in the long run. And so I just thought it was interesting because a lot of the things that people do in trying to make themselves happier doesn't actually make them happier in the long run. And just because what the research has shown is that a lot of this stuff is actually counterintuitive. And so I started getting interested in it just because I was thinking about, okay, how can I apply some of this to not only my own personal life, but to Zappos as well? How can we make employees happier? How can you make customers happier? A lot of companies think, oh, all you have to do to make employees happier is give them a raise or give them a bonus. Mm-hmm. But the research has shown that might make them happier for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month at the most, but then their happiness level drops back down. And so unless you're going to be able to give them a raise every month, then you need to figure out other ways of making employees happier. So.
You showed that selling shoes is not about the price. What do you think, what premium can you charge for delivering really good service?
I think it really varies by industry. So if you're selling paper clips, you probably can't have much of a premium for paper clips, no matter how good the service is. But I think there's a lot of opportunity where customers will recognize and appreciate great service. And today it's selling shoes and clothes online, like at Zappos, but the airline industry, for example, is another industry where I think service could make a huge difference.
Do you think you could take the concept of delivering happiness? You will write a book about it, right? It will be published in 2010?
So, first half of next year, basically the book Delivering Happiness, which you can actually pre-order from Amazon today, kind of goes over the lessons I learned all along the way, from the lemonade stand to Link Exchange, my previous company, to the pizza business, to Zappos, and then talks a little bit about the science of happiness as well.
Okay, so do you think you could take that concept and take it to any other business?
Oh, definitely, and hopefully. I mean, that's part of the goal of the book, is to help spread it beyond just Zappos.
Okay, well, thanks for the interview.
Yep, thank you.